3 points I want to make. First, the 15 votes that it took to name Kevin McCarthy was not unprecedented. You heard that the whole time. Oh, it's unprecedented. No, it's not. Nothing new under the sun. Now, it's been a while, surely. 1923 was the last time it took any more than just one vote. It took 9 votes in 1923. But that was a cakewalk compared to 1855. It took 133 votes to name a speaker. 2 months of voting and bloviating. 133 votes. And in the end, the winner was Bobbin Boy Banks. Nathaniel Bobbin Boy Banks. We go over the details of that speaker's race on my podcast, Politics by Faith. We break it all down, and why was Bobbin Boy Banks known as Bobbin Boy, where did that nickname come from, and all the rest of it, and how long did he end up serving, and all the rest. So we talk about that in our podcast. Why? Because in the podcast, Politics by Faith, one of the main themes of the show is there's nothing new under the sun. All these people saying it's historic and unprecedented, they're just trying to get you to click. And it wasn't even, wait, that's all on the podcast. Second point, I don't find anything embarrassing about that week of voting at all. And that was the narrative from the left and a lot of Republicans as well, as this is so embarrassing for the party. Is it? Why? Here's just one example. Here's Leslie Stahl, just appalled at what's happening.
The historic chaos in the House of Representatives this past week embarrassed not only a party, but an entire nation. A small minority blocked the House from electing a leader or even swearing in its own members. Yes, it was only for a few days in January, but if members of the incoming majority party can't bring themselves to support a new leader, then one wonders what happens when Congress faces tough decisions.
That's so great. So not only was it historic chaos, but it embarrassed America. All Americans are embarrassed. Like, give me a break. That's democracy. It could be messy business. It's okay. No need to panic. Everything doesn't need to go smoothly all the time. The votes for Nancy Pelosi for Speaker went smoothly because she's ruthless. We'll talk about her a little later as well. The votes in the Soviet Union went smoothly, but a real democracy is messy. To me, it was wonderful. It's a clear display of self-governance. Nothing embarrassing about it. Well, maybe embarrassing for Kevin McCarthy that he couldn't wrap it up on the first vote, but there was nothing embarrassing about anything else for anyone else, and certainly not for America. Isn't it always the rioters on the left where they'll occupy a building? They'll literally go in, take down a building, right? And they're in the building and they're marching, and they'll say, "This is what democracy looks like." I've heard that my whole life. That's what one of their rallying cries, one of their chants. This is what democracy looks like. Now they're wrong. Rioting and shutting down businesses, that's not democracy. But voting in a legislative chamber to determine who the leader should be, that is democracy. And I'm glad it happened in the open for all of us to watch. That is indeed what democracy looks like. But for Leslie Stahl and on the left, oh, it's so embarrassing. Give me a break. As Jesse Kelly, of course, fellow host here on The First, said, have you ever been super fat and lost a bunch of weight? Or known someone who has? Was that process easy or ugly and hard? Change is ugly and uncomfortable. Many seem to think it can be polite and easy. It cannot. It's okay to have a little chaos. In the end, it worked out. And that's point 3. Look at the concessions that McCarthy made to get the seat. And look at what they did on their first day united again. Promised a balanced budget, no debt limit increase, 72 hours to read a bill, all this obvious stuff that every Republican should have been in favor of in the first place. It's unbelievable that it even required these 20 to help the Republicans find their soul again. How could McCarthy not have come to the table with these right from the jump? How does this not define him as a Republican, period? He had to make concessions to do these things? It's working out for the best. The Republicans are now different from the Democrats again. It's one of the reasons why Republicans didn't win that many seats, actually a historically low number of seats in the last election just back in November. It's because they were no different than the Democrats. But the Republicans are now different. They're now stronger thanks to the 20. And we are all better off too. The 21. Thank goodness. Hey, thanks for watching that clip. I love these specials that we do where they're exposés on people. We've done them on Putin. We did them on Nancy Pelosi. This one is on Kevin McCarthy. Like, who are they? We hear the media talk of them and about them, but who are they? I love to go back to their childhood, their motivations, figure out what makes these people tick. And for McCarthy, it helps us better hold his feet to the fire for these next 2 years. So if you want to hear our whole special, it's available on thefirsttv.com/support.